Hello there. Welcome into Wells Fargo Arena alongside Braiden Bell. I'm Werner with the Walter Cronkite Sports Network's continuing coverage of Arizona State basketball. So Braiden, right here tonight, the Arizona State Sun Devils, they got the win over the University of San Francisco Dons, 75-57. It wasn't their cleanest game, but they still got a big win, moved to 7-0. What was so impressive about the win tonight?
You're right. It wasn't clean. It wasn't always pretty, but you know the old saying, a win is a win. And this team is 7-0. They will be ranked heading into their games next weekend. And like you mentioned, it wasn't the prettiest game, but it was how they responded to that. Because not every game this entire season they're going to put up 90 points. That just doesn't happen. You're going to have nights where you're not clicking on offense or things just aren't kind of flowing. And that's kind of what happened here tonight. But I loved what I saw out of that Arizona State team here tonight, responding to those difficult plays and still having a great energy out there and fighting hard. And really, it was never in doubt. San Francisco kept it close, but Arizona State, you could tell pretty much the entire game that they were going to come away with the win.
And you mentioned it was a tough game where San Francisco, they shot 43s. How did the defense of the Sun Devils really step up tonight?
43s, like you mentioned, which is astronomical. You might not see a number that high again the rest of the season, but Arizona State, once again, on defense, it was a very impressive performance. That was kind of the question mark for this team, if you will, and it will continue to be as the season goes on. But I thought they did a pretty good job, and calling out one name in particular, who we could probably mention every single game, was Remy Martin. The guy just plays with incredible energy, taking a charge almost every single game, and you can see him elevating his teammates when he steps out there. Romello White said that in the postgame, that he is kind of the most vocal guy when he steps out on the court, and he also said that, you know, opposing teams most likely fear Remy Martin by the end of every game, and I absolutely agree with that because he just plays with such competitive zeal. It's unmatched by every other player on the court.
And ASU moves now to 7-0, but they have two tough tests awaiting them. They face St. John's before playing at Kansas. What are they going to have to do, and what should we really expect in those games, Braiden?
Well, this is where it gets fun. Vegas was a big deal for this team, beating Kansas State and Xavier, but now you've got a different kind of challenge. You've got St. John's, a team that matches up very well with this Arizona State team, very good guard play, but a physical team out of the Big East. It'll be a fun matchup in Los Angeles, and then the game everyone's circled, going to Lawrence, Kansas, against the #2 team in the country in the Jayhawks of Kansas. Bill Self, that environment there, it'll be nuts. So for St. John's, I think this is a game that Arizona State can and probably should win in Los Angeles. But the Kansas game, it's not really about a win, you know, if you're watching that game, if you're an Arizona State fan, but it's how they look, how they perform against one of the best teams in the country. And that'll show a lot going down the road if you're an Arizona State fan. And also for these players and coaches, if they can compete with Kansas, it's only going to build their confidence.
And ASU does get that win over the University of San Francisco Dons, 75-57, moves to 7-0 before taking on St. John's and then Kansas. Alongside Braiden Bell, I'm Werner, Cronkite Sports.